Namaskar. Welcome to all of you. I'm so glad, like I said even before, that we are all here together every Sunday, really learning about the facts of life. Because if you look carefully, what is the most important thing in life? If you ever ask a question yourself, your family, your children, your house, your property, your education, your career, what if there was one question to be answered, and that is, what is the most important thing in your life? Very hard, very tough question. Because everything which we see is a material thing in life. We're all talking about what we see. But there are things which we cannot see. We can only experience inside. And those are more important. They are. They really are. That deep question should always be part of our life. Who am I? What am I? What am I doing here? What's going on? That question is very important. And I'm so glad that you are into what I call is that on this quest, on this path to learn, this path to understand. I was in a program last night, pretty big program, almost 400 people. And when I finished that, and I only had maybe 15 minutes time to speak, this lady came back at the end of the program, while it was over. She said to me, "Can you tell me what I'm looking in life?" I'm a very nice lady. Looked very educated, and um, uh, I said, "Well, that's the best question you can have. What am I looking in life?" So I said, "Ask yourself the question again and again. You will start getting the answers." Yes, sometimes you need a guide to let you go through that. So I said, "I'm walking towards the dining halls, and so I will see you later. They are waiting for me." She said, "No, no, I will walk with you and I'll keep on talking. Please keep on talking." The quest comes inside. Everything else is false. Everything is false. उसको आप एक्सेप्ट कर लीजिए अपने हार्ट के अंदर. You, your own existence is the most important thing. And we always need to explore. Before I start the program, there is one word I want to explain very quickly. I'll give you an idea of what I'm talking about. There is one ritual when somebody dies in Hindus. It's called, they go to certain places and like Haridwar and all that, and there's a Pandits there, and they do a puja for you. It's called Gati, for the dead person. Does that sound familiar, the word Gati?
हाँ जी।
हाँ जी, गति करने के लिए जाते हैं. जो कोई
जी।
मर जाता है ना,
हाँ हाँ।
तो गति क्या होती है? So I will explain to you in the scientific way, scientific language. We'll come to Bhagavad Gita. We're doing fine with the timing. तो गति क्या होती है? मैंने भी करी है अपने फादर के लिए। मैं गया था, मेरे फादर की जब डेथ हुई थी, तो आई वेंट टू इंडिया. There's certain places where we go, and it's been coming on for years and years, the traditions in the family. So to understand why that puja is done, it's just a symbolization of things after death. Gati means, now let's just talk about the definition of gati in Sanskrit. Gati means speed. Speed which has a specific direction. Then when speed has a specific direction, it is called velocity. मुकेश जी, मैं ठीक बोल रहा हूँ ना? Velocity. It's a put in that term. तो गति क्या होती है? Now remember, we as human beings, we all have a frequency. We're all vibrating all the time. Everything is vibrating all the time. Sometimes you feel the vibrations, sometimes you do not feel the vibration. Everything is nothing but vibration. Other name we use is called energy, right? So vibration. Now, suppose you are traveling in a train, and train is going like 100 miles an hour or something. But somebody standing outside can see you're just going so fast. But you are sitting in the train and there are materials, people next to you and everything, and you don't feel any difference. Only when you look outside, you see the speed. You can have two balls and you can just keep on doing like that. And you can do that because you and the balls, whether in the air or not, traveling with the same speed as the train. So your gati and the gati of the ball and the gati of your neighbor and the gati of your suitcase is the same gati. Okay, you got that? So you do not feel the difference. But if you're outside and you want to catch the train, you cannot catch the train until you have the same speed, until you go that fast with the same speed that you finally are able to grab the handle and get on the train. All right? That speed, now, if you got that, so now think of that train which is taking all the souls to the final destination where they originally had come from. But we are wandering on this planet. We have a body, human body, and after that the body dies. The intention is what? That the soul must go back to the final destination. Otherwise, what is it going to do here? Now you're outside the train, okay? Remember that. So your soul, then what soul has to do? It keeps coming back and taking new births. And when it cannot come back properly, then you see things like, bhoot and pret and, those things. Pishach, different names for the wandering soul until it gets back to the human body again. But the train is going. We need to catch the train. And that speed, once our speed becomes such which is the same as the train, then we are in the train and we are off to our destination. उसको बोलते हैं गति हो गई. Means that the speed of the travel, the vibrations have become such that they have now merged with the vibrations of the train. In scientific terms, it is called resonance. Those with the technical background would understand. Mukeshji, does resonance make sense? That is what is required for us to have the final resonance. We have to catch that train. Our speed has to be so. So what happens as a symbolization? They say, well, whenever somebody dies, let us pray that the soul goes back to the destination. So we do this puja. That puja is actually not for the one who is dead. It's being used as an explanation. The puja is for us, human beings, alive people, to understand that situation about gati. It's a scientific term. It's in our Vedas. It's in our good books. That is why many writers even wrote, Karma gati tare nahi tare. Means the gati of your karma is very difficult to overcome. We have to keep on paying for that gati. Now, somebody asked me a question, which I'm sure you probably have in your mind as well. So when is it all going to end? Are we going to keep on going to this cycle over and over and over again? Krishna explained, slok number 12, chapter 18. Anishtam ishtam mishram cha trividham karmanah phalam bhavatyagina pretya na tu sannyasinam kaschit. When you do any karma, you have to have a bounce back, right? Okay, we understand that. But when that karma, any karma, is done in the mode of unattachment, bhavatya tyaginam, then that karma you are not going to get punished for. That karma is not going to be giving you a return, that it has to happen. You have to get a refund of no matter what you do, good or bad, positive or negative. Only when bhavatyaginam pretya natu sannyasinam kaschit. When you do anything in life, this is a wonderful shlok, but we have to understand, and that is why I went all this explanation of gati. Because when we are unattached in life, then whatever we do, we are not going to be affected by that. Everything we do unattachment is actually giving us the energy to go and catch that train. And if we keep on doing it long enough, we will be on the train. Like catching a bus, for example. You've got to get the same speed to get safely on the bus, because if you don't, you will get hurt. Happened to me. In 1960. 60? Yes, 19. 60, around that time, yeah. I was trying to catch a bus. The bus came, I thought it's going to stop. The bus was full, he didn't stop. I ran to grab the bus in Lucknow, the railway station, city Lucknow, India. I grabbed the handle, but the bus was so fast that I couldn't keep a grip on the handle, the door of the bus. I just fell in the middle of the crossroad. राइट चौराहे पर गिर गया मैं और मैं बेहोश हो गया obviously I got hurt and when I few minutes later when I opened my eyes I saw people all around me looking at me why because they said that when I fell a truck came and it rolled straight over me because the truck couldn't stop. I'm lying, and however, I was lucky, God's grace, I wasn't hurt very badly. I was more worried about the tear on my pant, and my mummy is going to get very angry that my pant hurt me. I was more worried about that. So unsuccessfully try to catch the train by wrong way will not help you at all. You have to work with the unattachment mode. So he said, remember, there are 5 principles of. Now, they're going to talk about grammar. You know what grammar is? Just listen to this shlok now, the number 13. He says, Panchatani Mahabaho Karanani Nibodh me Sankhye Kritante Proktani Siddhaye Sarva Karmanam Adhishthanam Tatha Karta Karana Cha Prathagvidam विविधाश्च पृथक चेष्टा दैवम चैवात्र पंचमम. So whatever you do in the life, just watch these 5 elements. These are the elements of life. We're not talking about earth, wind, air, fire, water. No, we're talking about something different. Those are the material things. These are the things which define our karmas. There are 5 different things. And they are Adhishthanam Tatha Karta Karanam Cha Prathagvidam Vividhashta Prathak Cheshta Devam Achyavatra Panchamam. This shlok, number 14, gives us the information about basic grammar. If we follow that basic grammar thing in our life, we should be fine. But we don't follow it completely. Now, what is grammar? Grammar is a selection of words to put in an order, so an expression is made of what is going to be said, and that is called a sentence. Words make the sentence, right? We learned that in school. And what makes a sentence? What makes a sentence complete? For example, I cannot say I am or I am going, these are incomplete. I'm going to school. A little bit better. I'm going to school to study. See the difference? You select those words and that makes a sentence. In our life, it's the same thing. So those five are, like we always say, there's subject, there's the verb, there's an action, and there's a reason. So the whole grammar basically is made of that. Correct? Whatever you speak, whatever I speak, whatever anybody speaks, has those four elements to make a complete sense of what is being said. Right. But there's a fifth element, which we always forget. That is not in the book of grammar. Whatever we say, whatever comes out of our mouth to give a message. Okay, so there's a verb, there's a subject, there's a predicate, there's an adjective or adverb. But we always forget the fifth one, which is called Dev. Dev means Devatra Panchamam is whatever we talk comes from the mixture of our karmas in the past life and the present life. So whatever we say, there is a reason for that to be said. And that reason, why you are saying what you are saying, is what is the result of your karmas, previous karma. That is called Dev. Not Dev, Dev. So remember, he said, Sharir Vana Mano Ardhitya Karma Prarabdhe Naraha Nyayam Va Viparitam Va Panchayate Tasva Hetava. Everything we speak from our mouth or think in our mind or do with your body means action, thought, emotions. All these happen they are a mixture of these five things, whether it's positive or negative. Nyayama va viparitava. Panchayate tasya hetava. All these five things decide everything in our life. That is true. It's a lesson on grammar, yes, but it's a lesson on life. So when we learn in the school, we learn the basic principles of grammar, but we never learn why we say what we say, why this is being said, why anything has to be said in the first place. So keep your karmas in your mind when you're thinking, or you're thinking with your mind, thinking with your body, thinking with your mouth. Be very careful what you say. Because most of the time, there's a word in English called slip of the tongue. Sometimes we don't even want, and we say things which really hurt other people. We don't even mean it. Happens with me all the time. Even with my best intentions, I'm I'm telling you, that's how it is. And then people start judging you. You didn't even mean that, but my karmas are such that they have come out such a way. Then we have to come and apologize. Oh, I didn't mean that. Please, if you're hurt, I'm sorry. But the words are gone. Bol diya, sab bol diya. So this is a double game we have to watch. If we make that mistake, we should try instantly to apologize. On the reverse, if somebody has said something to us, the karma thing, and we didn't like it, we should either accept it, or when somebody apologizes, we forgive. Because sometimes our mind is such that somebody said something to us, maybe he had no idea that it's going to be taken that way. Happens with the husband and wife all the time. You said this, you meant it that way. Look, your voice was this. This is we are all trying to rationalize and find faults with other people. That is again our problem. We are listening to all that those five things, the subject, the verb, and everything, all the words beautifully put in. But we forget the fifth, which is Daiv, the boss. It's making you use those four words. When we understand, so why this is important? Why we are talking about? Why Krishna is saying that? He said, Tatreva sati kartaram atmanam kevalam tu yah pashyat krita buddhitvan sa pashyati durmati. There was a time when I was explaining these sloks to a pandit, because he said, Gandhiji, please help me with that. I don't understand. So I said, okay, let's go into a room and we'll just calmly and quietly talk about it. And I'll tell you what I feel. He could never even imagine in his mind that these sloks meant that. And at one point, he got up and he thumped his fist on the table. He said, Gandhi, I don't understand what you're talking. This is nonsense. I'm leaving. I calmly said to him, you called me to talk about it. You should have the guts to listen and try to understand. What I am explaining, it doesn't suit your egoistic mind. That there is a fifth element in our life, always running our life. He couldn't understand that. Extremely knowledgeable man, a PhD in literature. Because the ego doesn't let him understand. The next slok is for such people. This is where it says, I'll read that slok again. Tatraiva sati kartaram atmanam kevalam tu yah paschat krata buddhinvan sa pashyati durmati. The word is durmati. Durmati means the man who cannot think positive, always thinking bad, doesn't want to understand, doesn't want to learn, doesn't want to know. Oh, so my soul made me do that, eh, Mr. Gandhi? It's not my fault, it is my soul, right? Because he has not realized that we are always bound by the karmas which we have done in the past life and in this life. All those karmas which were done in the mode of attachment. It sounds complicated, but it's very easy, ladies and gentlemen. It's very easy. It's extremely easy. Unattachment, unattachment, unattachment. And when you do that, then whether somebody likes you or not, whether somebody believes you or not, there's no need to worry about. I will give you a personal example again. I mean, that's the best way I can explain. In 1971, think of now what we're talking about. We're talking about 70, so 30, 20. We're talking about something about 50, 53 years ago. 53 years. Okay. First time I went to India, so in a group of friends, remember at that time, there wasn't much knowledge available for other countries. I mean, even getting a passport used to be a big deal. So my friends we all got together and one evening and we were all having dinner. And then somebody asked me about how are things, and I used to live in Montreal at that time. And I started explaining the traffic control and things like that, and about how the lights can detect how many cars are coming, and then they change their time accordingly, etc., etc. And then one of the statements I made was that in the morning and in the evening there is something called a rush hour, and there's a plane flies from the airport. It takes the full round of the city, plane or helicopter, and he checks all about which roads are busy. And then it tells the control tower or the radio station so people can be careful about traveling, right? Not a big deal, correct? I still remember one of my friends, an engineer, he stood up and he said, taking my first name, he said, Subhash, you are feeding us nonsense and I'm not willing to listen to it. So stop it. I was very angry. Why? Because he did not know. I, on the other hand, knew. Sitting in a group of 7 or 8 people, I'm trying to say something and everybody is refusing and saying that I'm lying. I'm trying to make up things to make me look smart. That's because they did not know. So be careful. When you say something and the other person negates you or try to tell you something otherwise, don't worry about it. You know, that's most important. Forget what others think. Then you become unattached. You said what you said. You meant well. Of course, you meant well. You're saying something for the benefit of everybody. But if it is not working out, they just don't understand. They don't understand. You cannot be angry at them either. वो तेरे को तो कुछ समझ ही नहीं है, तू तो कुछ जानता ही नहीं है. There's no point talking to you. You don't know, you don't understand. No, be very careful. Your karmas are always behind you. So, what do? Should we always worry about what comes from our mouth? Or should always be looking at behind our shoulders? That's, am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? No. The simple way is just do with unattachment. You said it. There are 4 ways to express, and the 5th is your tail. The 5th element. Remember the 5th element always. It's always there in life. So when somebody gets upset with you or something, something goes wrong, and you're doing your best, and the other person just doesn't understand. Okay, Baba, let it go. Rather than crying, you've done your work with unattachment. It's just getting more interesting. So he says, Yasya na ahankato bhavo buddhire yasya na lipyate hatvapi sa iman lokan hanti na nibadhyate. When a person thinks that whatever I'm doing is not I am doing, but it's happening because this life is going on. Even what we speak from our mouth has that 5th element. Just remember one word, 5th element, 2 words. Actually, there was a movie on it a long time ago. I have not seen the movie, but I don't even know what it was all about. But the interesting thing was the title of the movie was The 5th Element. When we think that whatever is happening is just happening, then whatever we do, we are not attached to that. Even if we did something wrong, if the attitude becomes that, just think about it. When you're driving your car and police catches you and your speed is more, were you really trying to do that? No, it just happened. You were driving and the speed went higher and you got stopped. And sometimes you didn't get stopped. होता है ना? Most of the time, we just carry on. Okay, okay, my God, 100, I'm going 120. Oh, okay, let me slow down a little bit. You're not getting punished for that. Because that was done with a thought that we were not aware of. Just happens. Everything happens like that. So he says, Yasya na ahankato bhavo, the person who always lives in a mode of I am not the doer, it's being done through me, then the feeling of the relationship to God, to Brahman, starts taking over. Now you are rushing to get to that train, your speed is moving up. But the more you get entangled in the material attachments, your speed keeps going down. It's very simple. If the way is clear, you can go faster. If the way has so many obstacles, and in the life, the success, the material success, the money, all these things, property, degrees, education, talent, all these things are there to stop you from getting that speed. They're hurdles. We think they are our achievements. One of my friends gave me a wonderful advice years ago. He said, your assets are your biggest liability. Think about it. Your assets are your biggest liability. Opposite, right? We have assets so we can have a great life. But assets, when we have little, we want more. Can never stop, no matter what it is. Desire to get more and more. That's called Trishna. You know, Krishna and Trishna, and interesting, we'll talk about it some other time, the relationship. But Trishna is desire to get more and more and more. So what we are doing is, we are collecting more and more and more of the hurdles. Once you have roti, kapda or makan, once you have the basics, beyond that, everything is a desire. There's a difference between necessity and the desire. The need and the desire. He said, a person who is not attached to the worldly possessions, hatvapi sa iman lokan hanti nane badhate. This is another part of that shlok, which is saying that such a person, when he even kills, does not get the punishment for that. Because he knows that I'm not doing it. Because remember, entire Bhagavad Gita is based on Krishna telling Arjuna to go and fight the bad people. So, if you go, I'll give you another simple example. A mosquito comes and tries to bite you, or a fly. What do you do? Do you say, please go away, please don't hurt me? No, you go, bang. You are not going to be punished for killing that. People make a big deal out of it. Because that is a karma which you are doing to protect yourself. You are not going around killing the mosquitoes, but if somebody is coming to hurt you, you want to stop yourself. And if in that process, that fly or the mosquito has died, that karma you will not be
Punished.
punished for. So remember, don't make yourself so involved, attached to the principle that it starts destroying your life. There are many religions. Sometimes some of them have, something on their mouth covering because they believe that the germs are going in outside. They don't want to kill the germs which is coming, but they are forgetting that the germs are being already created in that constricted area. Well, if that's what they believe, that's what they believe. That is their decision. So remember, Arjun, this Krishna is explaining. Remember that you people are Arjun, I am Arjun. Krishna is Bhagavad Gita. Say, no matter if you are not attached to the material possessions. Hello? If you are not attached to the material possessions, you have them, fine. You got them, God gave it to you, enjoy it. Enjoy it. I mean, there are people I know, they are very comfortable, rich people, but they still sleep on the floor. They shower with cold water 3 o'clock in the morning, waking everybody else in the house. Those are acts of creating discomfort for other people and also hurting their own body in the process. But those are the thinking, personal thinking, to satisfy themselves. Stay away from those kind of desires. Your partner is snoring, you can't sleep. Just leave the room and go and sleep somewhere else. Don't say, hey, you're snoring. Hey, can you stop it? नहीं होता ना ऐसे, नहीं होना चाहिए. तत्वापि स मन्लोकान् हन्ति न निबध्यते. So even if somebody has died, now remember we're talking here about the war of Mahabharata. So I hope I'm pretty clear about this Gati business and trying to understand. It's very hard to comprehend, but it's very easy when your open mind is open. Those highly educated people will argue with my explanation because they can't understand simple, basic science here. It's science. It's technical, designed by the greatest technologist, Brahman. Everything is moving with a certain system. We can even predict when an asteroid is going to hit the Earth. Why? Because we have used certain formulas. We know the speed of this and this and this and that, and relative speed and velocity and everything. And finally, we can calculate. Years and years ago, there were books in India showing the movements of stars and planets. Where that information comes from? Because it all comes from a specifically designed system called the universe. Just be happy that you're part of it and enjoy your life. Problems with health, problem with wealth, the problem with neighbors, the problem with children. They are just situations. Just pass through that like you're swimming in a river. You're just swimming in the direction where the river is. You're not trying to change the direction or try to swim the opposite. Sarati iti samsara. The world is like a river. Happiness and sadness are the two banks. संसार है एक नदिया, सुख दुख दो किनारे हैं, जाएं तो कहाँ जाएं हम, बहते धारे हैं. We have no choice. We have to keep on swimming. We are the flow. Not going to be attached to the sides, left and right. The banks are Sukh and Dukh. Such a beautiful song.
Yes.
Mukesh and Asha Bhosle, I don't know, 50 years old song or something like that. धरती से अंबर तक जो बूंदें बरसती हैं, एक रोज यही बूंदें फिर बादल बनती हैं. ये बनने बिगड़ने के सब खेल ही सारे हैं. जाएं तो कहाँ जाएं हम, बहते धारे हैं. Think about these things, how beautifully these things are put for us. We are roaming in this entire, coming back and back and back over and over again until we finally reach that speed. जीना यहाँ, मरना यहाँ, इसके सिवा जाना कहाँ. This is an icon song of my life.
Yes.
Beautiful verse. दिल चाहे जब हमको आवाज दो, हम हैं वहीं, हम थे जहां, अपने यही दोनों जहां. स्वर्ग यहीं, नरक यहाँ, इसके सिवा जाना कहाँ. On Thursday, just 3 days ago, I was in a program and I was performing. And after the show, one Chinese lady came to me and just started talking about the song I sang and all that. And then she said to me, a Chinese lady, authentic Chinese lady. And she said to me, you know which song I like most about India? I like India song. That's what she said. So which song do you like? She said, Jeena yahan, marna yahan. I
Beautiful.
pleasantly shocked. She said, that's the only song I know and I know what it means. Even Pavan was shocked. She was sitting next to me. That is truth, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you.
Whatever is happening, right or wrong, let it be. It's going to pass and it's not going to pass. Who cares? Just be comfortable with yourself. God bless you. Be happy and comfortable. Have a great life, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.